Okay. If your brain feels like a fried egg by the end of the day, then you're probably making too many decisions throughout the day. I want you to do a quick assessment and rate yourself on red, yellow, and green, right? Red means my brain is mush. Yellow is like, yeah, decision fatigue is a real thing. And green is like, no, I'm good. At the end of the day, how tired are you? How messed up is your brain for making decisions? I'm going to give you a clue. If you've ever snapped at anybody for asking you what you wanted for dinner, you probably make too many decisions throughout the day. If you're in red or yellow, it is absolutely time for you to fire yourself from some decision making. Okay, you're not supposed to be the one that's making all the decisions in your business that aren't high level. We're going to have to change that and start doing something else. And I'm going to give you a few quick things that you can do today to start making those changes where you're not making as many decisions. Now, there are some really high-level people that have gone so far as to only wear certain clothes for the rest of their life, because that's one less decision they have to make. Steve Jobs comes to mind. When you picture him in your head, what do you see? You see jeans and a turtleneck and his glasses and white ratty sneakers, right? He's not a fashion-forward guy, but he's somebody who needs to make a lot of very important decisions throughout the day. So the less he had to do in his personal life, the more he had the ability to make them when it came to business. Okay. Same thing goes for you. Generally, you'll see, if you watch these on YouTube, you will see that I'm typically in the same clothes. In the summertime, I have the same tank top that I like to wear in 4 different colors. And in the winter, it's the same sweat outfit. I try and put on something a little bit nicer, but I can guarantee you what my bottoms are the same black leggings that I wear every single day, because it's just my routine. It's simple for me. I just know what I'm grabbing, I'm setting it out, and I don't have to think about what's going on. And I only record maybe once or twice a month, so I just grab a couple shirts and lay them next to me on the floor and then swap them out. As soon as I'm done here, this nice cute shirt is coming off and I'm putting on one of my tank tops, okay? That's just how I operate. I don't like to make a lot of decisions. We do something at our home with the family and it's like, what's for dinner this week? And everybody provides input, so I don't have to decide for everybody. That does one of 2 things. 1, that helps me make less decisions, but 2, if they complain about it, that's their fault because they picked it, right? So we have to do things that are going to help us not have to make so many decisions. I'm the one that snapped when somebody asked me what was for dinner, what I wanted for dinner, because it was like, stop asking me so many questions. Like, I just want to go through a day without having to answer a question, right? I had a client once who was constantly putting out fires. And a lot of people that come to me are like, God, all I do all day is just put out fires. I don't have time to get my own work done. If that sounds familiar, we're doing these unnecessary decisions, right? We're making unnecessary decisions and it's taking away time from your growth and it's taking away time from your freedom. So if your team is constantly asking you for approval, if decisions pile up and you're the bottleneck now, if someone's like, hey, just waiting for a response on that email, you're slowing down progress. And if you end every single day exhausted, it's probably from decision fatigue, okay? It is a real thing. I want you to very quickly think of 3 to 5 decisions that you made this week that you shouldn't have been involved in. List them out. I know they're there. Just write them down on a piece of paper, put them in a notes app, whatever it is, whatever you have, wherever you are, write them down so that way you can see them. You're going to start taking ownership of this, right? You're a bottleneck. If you see these like red flags where key decisions lack key ownership, that's where we have to start making changes, okay? We're going to reassign at least 3 decisions using this framework. I did not create it. We're going to talk about it. So that way you can make very quick decisions on who does what and when, and the entire team is going to know it. Okay. So first of all, I want to talk to you about this data-driven decision matrix that I have. It's a weighted decision matrix. It's a spreadsheet and it's a scoring system, essentially, where you factor in your profitability, you factor in the time investment, you factor in the scalability and the impact. So you write down whatever decision you're supposed to be making. I like to give the example of, do I buy an investment home to rent out? Do I buy an Airbnb? I like to make these kinds of examples because they're more relatable to a lot of other people. So it's a big decision, okay? We have to really clearly outline what are the pros and cons for it. So say we wanted to see if we're going to buy this new home for a rental property or an Airbnb or whatever it is. We're going to walk through, is this profitable? So if I'm only going to wind up making $500 a month, is it worth your time investment? How much time am I going to have to put into this thing? So in the beginning, maybe you have to put in more, but at the end, maybe you can hire a project manager and you don't have to really do anything. What is the scalability of this? Am I able to make it grow? If I start making more income on this, can I get another one and another one, right? And what's the impact it's going to have on either my business, my personal life, or the community, okay? And weigh all these things out and then scale it. Say your investment is huge, your ROI is not so big, and you have to spend a ton of time in it. On a scale of 1 to 5, you're probably going to give yourself a 1 or a 2. And then is that a decision that you want to make? Is it really something you should make going forward? Or are we looking for something that's going to give us a 5? Say we want to invest in a coach and we know that coach has great testimonials and, they're going to make sure that we get an extra $10,000 a month or whatever it is that's going on. That might score higher. So that's something that we would decide to invest in. But having that written down is really going to help you see physically the data and process things without just going on your gut. Because following your gut has its time and place and it will get you so far. We have to learn to trust our own instincts, but we also have to learn to check the data, right? I'm someone that junked tens of thousands of dollars into my business and didn't see much of an ROI on any of the decisions that I made. So I started using this system so that way I can actually outline where things are going and see and be able to make a informed, educated decision on where I'm investing my time and my money. So that's something you definitely want to do. Very simple to just write those things out and just follow that process, okay? Now this is the rapid framework that I wanted to talk to you about. It was done by Bain and Co., I believe, is the ones that originally came up with it. I'm not 100% sure on that though. But if you are having your team run every single decision through you and you're working 12-hour days, you're constantly under stress, you're constantly have to respond to emails and put out fires and do all this kind of stuff, you're not really being a leader, you're more of a micromanager. And that's something that's not going to allow you to grow and scale and still give you the freedom that we all want, right? You don't want to be tied to your laptop answering emails all day long. If you did, you'd probably have 9 to 5. Okay. So this is the rapid model and R, A, P, I, D. They all stand for something. So R is recommend. Who is the person that is going to research and make recommendations? A is agree. Who is the person that approves before the action takes place? P is performance. Who executes this action? I is for input, who provides their expertise, and D is decide, who has the final say, okay? So say we're hiring somebody new, okay? Who is the one that does the hiring process, brings in the applicants, goes through all that, figures it out, and makes the recommendation? Who's the person that does the interviewing? Who's the person that says, these are the ones that we should be going for? Who's going to be putting in their input? Maybe there was a salary discussion and now the financial team has to come on board and say, well, they want a little bit more. How are we going to go here, right? Who's the person that does that? And then who has the final say in the hiring process? Is it you as a CEO or is it going to be somebody else, right? Maybe you have an assistant that you absolutely trust with all of your life and you believe that once all these other things go into place that they can do it. But fill things out based on that the rapid model and start assigning different decisions to different people. So even if it's something as simple as social media posting, right? Who is the one that's going to do the research and recommendations? Well, my social media manager. Maybe it's an assistant, but we're going to go with social media manager for this one, right? Who's going to approve before an action? The social media manager, do they have that, or does it have to be you? Or can it be maybe the marketing manager and not you, right? Somebody above that person. Who's executing? So once all is said and done, who's putting it onto the social media platforms? Is it going to be the VA? Is it going to be the social media manager? And who provides input, right? So if there's a branding change, do you have somebody that does the branding? Do you have maybe the marketing team, the copywriting team? Like, who comes in and provides input to that specific thing? And then who has the final say? So if there's a brand change, maybe yes, you as a CEO need to step in and say, I approve this. But if there aren't any changes, who has the final say? Is it the social media manager? Is it the marketing manager? Like, figure out within your team, based on this format, who does what and when. So that way you're not the one making all the decisions, and your team is very much aware of who makes the decisions and when they make them. Okay? That is basically the way that I walk through how I make decisions. Very analytical, very data-driven, very process-oriented. So that way there's no second guessing, no questioning. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody knows how to follow a framework. All you have to do is plug and play the framework into your team, and it will absolutely work a lot better for you than just like, I don't know, having 17 meetings a week and taking up everybody's time when you could all be doing something different than sitting on a Zoom call for an hour a day, every single day, right? The challenge that I have for you this week is to fire yourself. So ask yourself this question. If I disappeared for 1 month, what decisions would my team struggle with? Okay. I have friends, I've had clients who have gotten very ill, and they have had to take an extended time off from their business, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because of their illness. And guess what? They didn't make money while they weren't working, right? There was holes in their business. Or they take a vacation and like, screw it, I'm leaving my laptop at home. And then all of a sudden they come home and they're like, oh my goodness, all of this stuff like literally burnt to the ground almost. Right? These are the holes that we have to fill. So instead of getting sick and then figuring it out, let's figure it out beforehand and put a plan in place. So that way, when we do go on vacation or have to disappear for 2 weeks or a month, we know that our business is going to survive. So say to yourself, if I disappeared for 1 month, what decisions would my team struggle with? And you can have your team ask this question as well, because believe me, I've been on the team end and I'm like, nobody could do this without me, and that's insane, right? So make sure that everybody is asking these questions so that systems and processes are put in place, okay? List out 3 to 5 major decisions that you still make, but you know somebody else can handle, okay? Control issues aside, we're gonna get rid of the control issues, okay? You hired these people, you trust them. So 3 to 5 major decisions that you make that somebody else should and could handle. Assign the rapid roles, work through the rapid framework and put into place who does what and when, and then have your team check it and say, yeah, I could absolutely do that, right? And then make sure you set decision thresholds. So can your team approve X, Y, and Z without me? Is it an ad spend, right? My team can approve up to $5,000 ad spend without me. Or my team can approve X, Y, and Z percentage without me. Whatever it is, implement these certain thresholds of decision making, right? So of course, social media content, right? If you're going through all of that and you're having your team do everything and you want nothing to do with it, the final decision, put a threshold on that, right? So I'm okay with these brand colors, these fonts, this wording, this everything. But if any of that changes, then you have to involve me. But week to week, it's probably not going to change too much, right? So you won't need to be in everything all the time, only when a major decision happens. That's what we're trying to do here, is to get you away from making the day-to-day decisions and only make the decisions that are big, that are going to impact your business in some way, shape, or form. All right, implement these preset rules so that way you can start streamlining all of your choices. And you can start focusing on the things that actually matter in your business, that actually grow the needle, move the needle in your business, okay? So fire yourself from at least one decision this week. So if you're watching this on a Friday, look through all the stuff that you do and fire yourself from one decision. I would recommend trying to do that monthly if you could. If you're pretty on top of your game, you might be able to do it quarterly, but reassess all the time. Like, why do I feel like I'm making decisions constantly? And then see what you can do to get yourself away from those, okay? Your business won't be built on $10 decisions, okay? Fire yourself from what doesn't require you. This is why we have a team. This is why we hire people. We're not the ones that are supposed to be doing everything, okay? So fire yourself from those decisions. We're not micromanaging people anymore. We're leading. And if we hired them, we trust them, we're going to have to throw them to the fire a little bit. Think about the first job you ever had. Did you have any idea what you were doing? I know I had no idea what I was doing in any of the jobs that I started, right? I was an investigator for child protection for a long time. And guess what? You have like a week where you get to follow people around and then they're like, go ahead, see you later, jump in the car, knock on someone's door. You learn by fire, okay? And guess what? Nobody gets hurt. You learn, right? If you're invested and you want to do things well, you will learn, you will figure it out. Same thing goes for your team. If they're invested in you and your business and your company, they will figure it out. They're not going to let your business fail because that means they fail and that doesn't look good. No, we all have giant egos. Nobody wants to look bad, okay? Track and adjust if you feel like you have to track and adjust before you can fully trust. Highly recommended. But start letting your team take on a little bit more responsibility because that's going to make them even more invested in your company. And it's going to help you out a lot in the long run where you're just not as exhausted at the end of the day. And you're going to be doing more of the things that you need to do to move the needle in your business. Okay? So implement this rapid system, commit to one thing you're delegating and firing yourself from this week. And I would love to hear, actually, if you could let me know what it is that you're firing yourself from. I'm always interested to see what things people are doing that they know without a shadow of a doubt that they should not be doing. So let me know that. I want to thank you guys for listening and go claim your time back.